Hey everyone, welcome to the day 28, 29, 29, I think 29. Welcome to the day 29 of my journey to become a 1600 player or to become an employed person. On the background here, I'm having the Freestyle Chess World Championship event. It looks like it's a match with like, I don't know, three game match. I think that's how I should say. Um, no, it's actually a four-game match, right? Actually, whoever makes 2.5 point wins. It's a freestyle event, of course, and I think the games are played in rapid time control. It looks like. In my opinion, yeah, this is rapid time control, right? And in my opinion, this is super hard. You have only 10 minutes to play a position that you never played before. A setup that you never played before, and this is super crazy. I mean, like, they already traded bishops. This is super crazy. And the one cool feature here about this event is the heart rate measure here. You can see that, Aronian is 92, 93. It's increasing, by the way. Magnus is 90 as well, but this is super funny to take a look, I guess, because look at Cinderov versus Corona, for example. Cinderov has 118 and Corona has 90. I think there's a point, look, 130. Corona is super chill. Not chill, but he's like consistent here and throughout the entire match. Not throughout the entire match, but whatever. 90, look, Magnus and Haronian here around 100, a little bit more. And it was Magnus did Magnus things here. He was losing, then he was drawing, then he won the game out of nowhere. Okay, so I'm having this on the background here. I'm not sure if matches will be played while I play my game, but whatever. Until like a few minutes ago, a match was happening between these guys here. As you can see, here Magnus and Arona were playing. So whatever. Let's review yesterday's match kind of quickly here. I drew my last game. I actually miscalculated a lot of stuff here. And the position was a little bit hard to play, in my opinion. I didn't find really good moves around here. Around this, I didn't find really good moves. I think this position was super even. Looks like I should have played f4 or e4, but I don't know. e4 I wouldn't play. Sure. f4 I would. I could have a chance to play. But I don't know. I don't know why I didn't play. I thought that I should have developed this bishop here. I thought this would be fine. I played rook b1. This is a really weird move, but my goal was to protect this bishop here. After, I don't know, some trades happen here. Maybe this bishop would target this one after these knights leave the diagonal. But this was wrong, and then I played knight to f3. My opponent took, I took with the bishop, and then this allows my opponent to play bishop to h3, which is super strong. It doesn't allow me to castle. There's just no way to prevent this bishop here. So yeah, played knight to e4, which is also wrong. This loses a pawn. I mean, like, doesn't really look I lose a pawn, but it does. According to the engine, the best move was to capture here on g7, which is what I did. But if I took here and my opponent took here, this wouldn't lose a pawn, but it looks like this is worse than losing that pawn that I just lost. I don't know what, but whatever. Looks like queen f6 is super strong. After, I don't know, I think that I would play this. But this looks like it's worse than what I had here. So this loses a pawn because I can't take the rook here because my opponent would take my queen, so I have to take the knight and then I lose a rook. I played this, and this allows my opponent to play queen h4, and I pretty much lose on the spot, but my opponent didn't spot this. So I played queen d4 first to win a tempo to like develop the queen while you know, winning tempo. I decided to play king g3 to trade this bishop here, and then trade the queens, trade one pair of rooks, and now I'm on a rook endgame with while being a pawn down, which is super bad, and the pawn structure sucks a lot. So I don't know how I drew this. This was super weird. I had my chance to draw this earlier with this. Looks like rook to a3. I mean, like, I don't know how I didn't spot this, but okay. This pawn is definitely hanging. There's just no way to protect this pawn here in enough time. My opponent, for example, if they play this, I can just take this and the rook in the game's over. My opponent can't defend this pawn here because, I don't know, if my opponent takes here, I take here, then there's just no time to protect this pawn here. The king can't go here, the rook's not in time because the king is in the way of the rook, right? So I could just take this pawn here for free, but I didn't spot it. I decided to play king to e3, e1 actually. I wanted to join, like, have the king join this mass here. So then I played rook a3. This is a little bit late, but whatever. And then I decided to, you know, trade this pawn here for this pawn and have a tempo on this one. I decided to do this. I thought this was good. So I checked my opponent here, checked him again, and then he played rook to b5, of course, king to b5, I'm sorry. Of course, because you want to like to repeat positions here with this, right? This is no good for him. I decided to do this, and my opponent played h5. Well, I went after this pawn here now. My opponent defended with the rook. I played rook to a7 again. And my goal is to advance the a pawn with the support of the rook. Of course, this is not ideal. The usual thing is to have the rook behind the passed pawn, but whatever. And then after some moves, I decided to trade this pawn here for this one. My opponent accepted, sure. And now this is already drawing somehow, because of this passed pawn, I guess. And then I decided to advance, and then I moved my king here. My opponent can't move this pawn here because it's pinned, so this allows me to have like enough tempo to move my king around the queen side here, the king side actually, and, you know, create some mass here, maybe push this pawn, maybe target these two little guys here. So yeah, and it looks like I made a mistake here because after this I must leave the 5th rank. I don't know, let's play rook here for example, and then my opponent can take here with check, and this is basically over. I didn't spot this. But my opponent, it looks like my opponent didn't spot this as well. So I took here. My opponent advanced that pawn. I went back with the rook to protect the promotion square. My opponent took that pawn. I took the other one. Advanced that pawn. Protected the promotion square. Then I advanced my pawn. And then after this, looks like I'm losing. I should have taken the pawn. My opponent would take here, and then this is drawing because, you know, after this my opponent should just go here, and then here and here, and this is drawing. I don't know why I didn't do this, but whatever. I didn't have too much time, but this is enough time to calculate this, but whatever. But my opponent missed a chance. They could take this. Yeah, they could take this, and then after promoting to the queen, my opponent can just go here and then promote his own queen, but he didn't spot it. I don't know why. My opponent went all the way back with the rook. I played rook to h1 to protect this pawn here, but this doesn't make sense as well. My opponent defended the square, the promotion square. But then they decided to play king to b2, and this loses the game. They should sacrifice the rook here, because after it takes here, they can just promote. But whatever, they didn't spot this. And then I went with the king up, and I was able to draw this game. Okay, let's go for today's match. I'm sorry for taking too long. Let's go. Looks like I'm playing white again. I've played 3 games in a row with black, and now I'm playing 3 games in a row with white, looks like. And after, wow, I really need to learn how to play against the symmetrical variation. My opponents always play, I mean, not always, but they often play c4, c5. Okay, I'm gonna castle. My opponent would probably, yeah, they would think it told the other bishop. And then what should I do here already? I really don't know. If I play d4, takes, that will lose the Fianchettoed bishop. I will have a knight on d4, but it doesn't really do anything. My opponent can trade and I take with the queen. This is bad for him. Let's go with knight c3. It doesn't really make much sense to not do this. Doesn't do much. About knight here. Takes. I have this strong pawn here with the support of e4. Not sure if this is good. I'm gonna play this now. Without this pawn here, I think this bishop guarding this square here doesn't really look that bad. I don't know if I'm doing this correct, but after trading here, I can play f3, control this knight here. Doesn't look that bad. And after taking here, well, this is actually super symmetrical right now, isn't it? Let's go for the end game, whatever. But let me just see, where should I put this bishop? I could trade here, but this allows my opponent to have this 5 here. This doesn't make sense. Trading that knight there doesn't really make sense as well, but whatever. Let's go here. I'm on my endgame trading arc, I guess. My opponent can play this now. I didn't spot it. Should have played differently. Yeah, this hurts a lot. But what about bishop back to e3 and then push here? Doesn't look that bad. I just lost a tempo for sure, but I don't know if this is super annoying. It must be. Oh, this is hanging. Not hanging, but this will double my pawns. This is not good. Definitely not good. My opponent traded. Let's trade with the f rook. My opponent trades out. Already moved this, and my opponent. Wait a second. Now I have this. Maybe. Let's see if he falls for it. My opponent trades here. Trades here. I can just trade with the knight. This will have. I will have a knight on d1, which is a little bit too passive, but I can. My knight can join the game quite easily here with this. This is kind of easy to do. I do have enough tempos for that, and limit the opportunities for the g6 knight. We see Magnus on the screen. He was already earlier at the board. But well, now I can actually move the knight. I really like this knight, to be honest. I really like knights on end games, right? So I am considering having this knight on the board. I might just play. Let me just think for a second. It's good to think on these positions, I guess. This knight is out of the game, and I really wanted to control this square here, but I just can't. My opponent played this to maybe trade everything here, trade these 2 pawns here, but I'm not sure if this does much. I think I can play. Maybe this is not bad at all. I'm gonna play this. This doesn't look that bad. This stops this pawn to running. I can play and play this now. Takes and takes like this. Then this, yeah, this looks good as well. My intuition just says this is decent. And
getting it done against Vincent Keimer here would set himself up brilliantly in the overall standings. Away we go. We'll start with the 4 board.
Wait, but this is not super cool, right?
But we're going to track whether or not there is consensus, and I do see one differential. That will be on the bottom left-hand side of your screen there. It's Arjun Aragaisi who decides to go his own way.
Bishop back to e3. I feel this game's already slipping of my hands. It looks like a match is about to start here. It's Magnus. It's actually not a 3-game match. This is actually just round robin, looks like. And Magnus and Corona are leading, looks like. Bruno didn't win a single match, unfortunately for him. And wait. Wait, but this is... Let's play this. My opponent can't... What if my opponent plays... If my opponent plays this, I can advance this, and then I can maybe advance this one here. And then this becomes super solidified. I'm not sure if this word is used in chess. Okay, my opponent actually wants to trade this, but I don't think this is good for him. I win a pawn. Let's trade here. Not sure if this is good, but let's trade here. Trade, and then isn't this pawn just dropping?
Yeah, feels like it's come as a bit of a surprise to him.
My opponent can check here, but this is not doing much. I don't think so. My opponent pushes this, I have this knight here, unless my opponent takes here, and then go here. That maybe makes sense. Yeah, it actually makes sense. I didn't spot this. It looks like my opponent also didn't spot this, so I can play this and win the rook. Not win the rook, but trade the rooks. And now this pawn is almost hanging. Oh, but I didn't spot this move here. Well, I gotta play it then. Well, this is actually super hard. I must play a lot of moves. There are a lot of moves that I need to play here. But wait a second. Think. Wait, what if I play this? I'm messing around so much here. This pawn is hanging. Wow, I forgot that this pawn was hanging, but whatever. I needed to play b3. I need to play a lot of moves here. Let's play b3 before it's too late, I guess. But I'm not sure if this is correct. My opponent now has time to play this. Now I have this.
Okay, Hans up on time. It feels like the last 2 moves have gone in his favor after
I have this. Oh, but my opponent's now taking the pawn here. This is super bad. This is super losing. Come on, I'm just losing the game. Let's just lose the game on the spot here.
We might see g3 on the board to give a defense on f4 as well as create some squares for the bishop to come out on.
Yeah, I lost this game here. I just lost this. My opponent's actually not taking this too seriously.
Bishop is such a sniper, hitting this whole diagonal. The queen can always line up with it.
Wait a second. If I play knight here to protect this pawn here, my opponent can check. If I move here, my opponent trades, take. No, this
game goes
the
on.
king gets
No,
on time
brings
here,
his
right?
knight forward instead.
So let's play
Another way to
this.
defend that pawn.
Opponent
So
would
yeah,
check, I
natural
take the
defending,
rook.
attacking the bishop. But maybe this is the
If my
downside.
opponent plays
Skating a bit of
this,
time against the rook,
then
which is going to have to find itself on a clumsy,
my opponent didn't
clumsy
play
square,
this, sure.
or you're going to have to trade
Looks
off
like I'm
the
not
bishop.
that bad then. My
Bishop
opponent's
is still
missing
up.
on a lot of
That's
chances
facing
here. I'm
the
pretty
wall.
sure this is losing, and now this is losing.
His rook.
Just
What
looks
am I
to lift the rook forward and
doing?
he's now hitting that bishop. So we're going to see the bishop
I
jump all the
just...
way back.
And I think the argument that he's making is that
I'm
you can
just
use
super
your
bad
tempo
at
in
this.
bringing the
Come
bishop
on.
back, but the rook on c3 comes
At least
back
I
with
got
its
this
own
pawn
pieces,
here,
and
which
actually
is
that
the
bishop
main
pair is
issue
very
of this
nicely placed
position.
right now. So
But
for a red,
being
you
a
have to
piece
spend
down
a
for
few more
this is
times getting the rook out of the
definitely
way.
not
And
good.
I think the way Hans has
Definitely
handled
not
this
good.
opening so far keeps the advantage on the clock as well. Looking good for Neiman.
Yeah, it feels like he's got in the flow a bit more, and yeah, it feels like this position. It's just very easy for black to play. You can castle next move, pretty much.
Yeah,
against
this is
everything.
losing.
You
Completely
can
losing.
strike the
Come
center
on.
at will. You can jump your knight into the center. So much choice for Nodebek. No obvious moves.
So I think now's a good time for us to do a bit of a trip around the world. So first, let's hop over to Sindarov and Erigaisi, where very similarly, you'll see the eval bar is just ever so slightly of the player with the black pieces, but we can see many notable differences. But
Play
for me,
this.
Sindarov's already
This doesn't make
committed
sense as well,
to
but
the right-hand
let's play
side of the board,
this.
still
This
not
loses this pawn
pawns
here.
back in his game.
Yeah, Sindarov's
I
committed. He's actually
just
sacrificed a pawn just in the last few moves.
went on an
Just
end
taking
game
down
and played
3-4
super
moves,
poorly.
because it looked like a
Look at the
very
difference,
heavy
64
and
against
in short
24
chess we would call
heart
that
rate.
proxy bind,
It's super
with the white
crazy.
pawns clamping down on all the
This
light
is
squares, white
super
with the bishop
crazy.
in center. But after black castled, maybe not the best move order. White's bishop coming forward. Great energetic move here. Pawn sacrifice, b5, breaking that bind. And after an exchange, first kicking the bishop back, and now surely he's just going to blow open the center, with or without maybe a hit on the white queen. And Sindarov's the one trying to make the magic happen.
It's very dangerous for Arjun, and especially the fact that he still needs one more move for his king to get to safety right now. This could be the tempo that Sindarov needs for that initiative. And we've seen him employ these ideas, right?
My
He's
God.
any kind of ideas where he sacrifices a flank pawn to open up the
Can't believe
lines
that
for his
I'm
mate,
just
for his
losing
diagonals, for his
this
bishops right now. I
for
like the movement
free.
you're suggesting. I like Rook to see it. I'd also point out one more move here. You could actually make sure that White's king doesn't get to safety on that right side of the board by taking away that square on e1, bishop sliding over to b4, and just making sure that White doesn't get to castle, and you're just playing for long-term initiative.
Do we even have a chance here?
Yep, can't castle through check. The rook can move through.
No, we
in
don't,
time,
right?
The king cannot. That's a very clever move. Other candidates would be jumping forward with the black knight, maybe to hit this bishop, even using the queen to create a pin.
Check. Play
Or
this.
Sindarov, I really like his position. It's very similar to Sicilian ideas,
This.
just breaking open the center, but maybe there's other options which will force him to slow down.
And also all of this just for a pawn. The piece activity that he has, managing king safety, and in deficit just one pawn, and that absolutely does not matter with this time control. Playing for the attack is Javakir Sindarov.
Yeah, so multiple considerations here for Javakir Sindarov. So while he thinks about what his best pathway forward is, rather, let's go to another position that I think you'll like. Magnus Carlsen's position up against Vincent Keimer. As we arrive there, once again, it's a player with the black pieces who's found himself a small advantage. Magnus Carlsen yet to commit his king to either side of the board, as we had seen Javakir Sindarov do in his position. But a bit of a different
Two
look
pass
here
pawns
with,
on
G
the
pawn
opposite
on the white
directions
side,
is super hard to play.
starting to eliminate
It's
some of
actually
those
possible
light
to defend,
squares in
right?
the center of the board.
Yeah,
Let's
Magnus-
hope for... Maybe I
Magnus
could
and
have played
Hans have, almost copied each other in terms of
f4,
pawn
but this
structure
is not enough
he's
time,
playing.
right?
And Magnus looking very relaxed right now. Big question for Vincent where the king's going to go. Maybe he's overextended somewhat. There we go. He does kick away the bishop. But the last time we saw this was in the Hans Niemann game. Hans reacted by bringing his bishop to attack.
Is there any chance I can
Looks just as strong here. The bishop could also step back and harass
Uh,
a vulnerable knight.
draw
Gets
this
the question mark here, though.
with, you know,
Implies there's a very solid response.
stalemate? No, there's no chance, right?
Also, so much of their approach
It's just
here
no
is
chance.
based on the score lines that we're seeing, right? Magnus and Fabi with a 1-point lead at 2.5 out of 3 games. Meanwhile, we've got 5 players with a point.
This is almost stalemate.
Vincent Keimer is one of them.
This is actually stalemate for my opponent too. Yeah, let's go, bro. Let's go. I knew there was a chance of stalemate here. And I fell for it. And I felt that this was stalemate. Let's go. If my opponent took with the queen, then I would be losing. My opponents had to take with either of those two pieces here, this is over. Yeah, thank God. I played this terribly, but this has ended up in a stalemate. Wow, I drew 2 games in a row, and if you take a look on the last matches, I actually drew 3 games in 6 matches. You can call me Nishigiri if you want to, but whatever. So thank you for watching. See you on the next video. Actually, let me just check. What should I have done here? This game was... I played this super terribly. This is not a game that I should have played like that. I shouldn't play like this. Definitely. This is supernatural. Natural moves. Take. This book move. This is wrong. Sure. Just play 84. Okay. Took here. Bishop here. Well, actually, this is not that bad. Take a look. This wasn't that bad. Bishop to G5 wasn't that bad as well. But after...
there is a double attack on both these pawns, and I don't really see a healthy way for white to defend both. Well, there's queen lining up bishop.
After this is the wrong move, but it's not losing. After this, I took here, traded everything. Then, yeah, but this position, super hard to play. Wow, I lost a piece right here. This... I just suck, come on. But okay, but how should I play this? I mean, I chose to play this. I could have played this and this is... Hanging the pawn. Oh my god, I didn't. Oh my god, why did I just trade it here? I mean, like, I was up a pawn here, but now the pawn is on e3. The difference here is that I saved, I mean, like, preserve the pieces and then win a pawn. I just suck. Should have spent more time in here. But okay, this was a piece, sure. Then I should have pushed this pawn here to have this rim. Yeah, the square here is super good for the king. Oh my god. My goal with this this rook to G1 move here was to, you know, go and have a discovery here, but this doesn't make any sense at all. I don't know why I did this. I think all habits are just crazy. And I think I didn't play that bad. I think I made some good moves here, but this is losing already. Making good moves in a lose position doesn't do anything. But yeah. That's it for today, guys. See you on the next video. I drew another game. I'm still surprised that I was able to draw 2 games in a row. Okay, see you on the next video.